Emmanuel Macron. Emmanuel Macron says, France president says, without France, Mali, Burkina, and Niger will not exist. Even the entire Africa will not exist. This is a word from, I want you all to take note, Africans, my fellow Africans. This is a word from France president. Mr. Macron is not feeling ashamed and is not feeling afraid to utter that kind of rubbish from his mouth. To say that without France, Mali, Burkina, Niger, and even the entire Africa will not exist. That's what make me so angry. That statement make me so angry to come out to let my peoples know the rubbish word that this man is uttering from his mouth toward Africans. If Mr. Macron, France president, says, without France, Mali, Niger, Burkina, and the entire Africa will not be existing today, then I want to say this to Mr. Macron and all the France citizens to realize this, that without Africa, France will not be existing. Even entire Europe will not be existing today. The entire Europe and France is existing today because of Africa. We feed you, we protect you, whatever sensitive materials you have today was from Africa. You stole it from Africa. Whatever you create today was created by the African raw materials. Whatever you are manufacturing today, you are manufacturing it from African resources. So if Mr. Macron, you think without France, Africa cannot survive, now African says you should leave them alone. If you are really so, if Macron, France president, is really so, without France, Mali, Burkina, Niger will not exist, even entire Africa will not be existing. So why don't you leave them alone? Africans are asking you to go out, and you are insisting to stay. You are insisting to stay. Why? Because you know without we, France cannot go. Without we, the entire Europe and the entire West will not survive. That's a message, very clear message, Mr. Macron, you should understand. And all the clueless France citizens who are supporting Macron, they are the stupid leader, should understand this, that if your president, Mr. Macron, says that without France, the Mali, Burkina, Niger, and the entire Africa will not be existing, then why are you insisting to live in Africa? When we are chasing you away, forcing you, go out from Africa, then why are you still insisting to stay in that continent? Why? That should be a question to you, Mr. Macron. If you think you are smart enough, I will tell you Africans are more smarter than any other person living in France. Africans are more smarter than you, Mr. Macron, and all your parliament members. We are more smarter than you, and we are watching every movement and every step that you people are taking. You cannot insult Africans. At the end of the day, you stole our resources each and every day. Benefit yourself. Without we, there will be no light in France. Without we, the Africans. Macron, your word is a word that I would want my video to reach to Macron. And Mr. Macron, Emmanuel Macron, if you want to find me, please, you have, my contact is there. I will not hide. I live in Europe here. So I will not hide. Whatever I will say to you today, Mr. Macron, if you don't like it, then arrest me. I live in Europe. I will not be afraid for you to come after me. I am ready for it. But I will tell you the truth today, that you are very stupid. And you don't even understand what you are saying. You think you are smart? You can be tormenting Africans for a decade. We have been understanding all the threatenings and all whatever you were doing in France, in Burkina, in Mali, in Niger, in Guinea, in Senegal, whatever you are doing there, whatever France is doing there, we know it. We have been written and recording everything down. And we are not ready to see any puppet or anybody from West to come to Africa and claim Africa to be your own. You don't rule Africa, Mr. Macron. You rule France. You can turn France into a beast country. We don't care. But you cannot rule Africa. And you cannot tell Africans how to behave. And you cannot make any law for Africans anymore. That is over, is over. We are not ready to see you insulting Africans while you know that you survive by Africa. But Mr. Macron, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, you are not feeling ashamed to come out in media to stand and utter that rubbish, to say that without France, Mali, Burkina, Niger will not be existing, even entire Africa will not be existing. Then I also say this, without Africa, France will not be existing, and even the entire Europe or the entire Western world will not be existing without Africa. We understand. We are not like our forefathers. We have been studying. When you fool our forefathers in this way, telling them that without we, you people cannot survive, then they live in the hand of you peoples as slaves. You use them. That is not our time. Our generation say no to slavery and no to maltreatments and no to the policy, the foreign policy that from the West to Africa. It will not be existing in Africa anymore. We will form our own foreign policies in Africa. France President Macron says that without France, the entire Africa will not be existing. People must understand one thing. Without France, the entire Africa will not be existing, but that Africans are chasing you away today, you don't want to go out. Today, I want you to know one thing. France ambassador in Niger should be handcuffed and deported back to France. Not in peace, because they don't want peace anymore. I will say this in media, and I'm saying it in media, and I'm saying it very loud and clear, that if the France ambassador is still existing and France government is still insisting that they will still get in control of Africa, then we are ready for them. If they are ready for war, then they are welcome. I make this very clear to France president, especially to the France president Emmanuel Macron. We are ready for it. If you people are insisting to stay in Africa, feel ashamed of yourself. The Westerners, you should feel ashamed of yourself. That we feed you each and every fucking day. We make you have light energy. We give you gas for free. We give you oil. We give you platinums. We give you raw materials, mineral resources for free. But you people still see us as fools. Like we don't know nothing. And we don't know what we are doing. Come on, it's enough, it's enough. We cannot be feeding you, the Western peoples, while you people see us as a fools. And now we say it's enough. We are no more going to feed the full-grown men like Westerners who see us as fools. And today, Mr. Macron, you are not feeling ashamed of yourself that you are not even capable to take care of your country. We are taking care of your country for you. We feed your country. We pay bills in your countries. We give you raw materials for free. You cheated Africans for so long, Mr. Macron. You know how we see you? We see you as a fool who don't understand what he is doing. What Africans understand. And we have a time for you. That time limit is over. Whatever you have been doing before is before. It can never repeat again, and it cannot be repeated again. Mr. Macron, France president, I call you a fool. And in front of you, I would still call you a fool. Because you think France can rule Africa again. It's not possible. No. France can only rule an African country that is not being ruled by a military. But any country in Africa that is being ruled by a military or that is in control of a military leader today is over. That country will not be ruled by France anymore. And we are ready for anything that France is ready for. And I will give you this promise today. If the ambassador of France refuses to leave Niger before 15th of September, then ambassador, whatever happened to the ambassador of France is not our problem. And it's not caused by Africans. I will tell you this today. Mark my word. Something different will happen than to cut light and cut water from the ambassador house. That is a little thing. But before on the 15th of September, if nothing being done and France didn't remove their ambassador from Niger, I promise you, France ambassador is going to become an history. And we are not going to take the responsibility of anything that happened to the France ambassador. France will take the responsibility of anything that happened to their ambassador in Niger before on the 15th of September. UK new Prime Minister met with Nigerian Chief of Army Staff. Why? Because UK is ready to push Nigeria to a war with Niger. But that same UK destroy Nigeria and steal all the oil and the gas from Nigeria. Now, since Niger is still standing strong to make sure that France go away from Africa and from their country, they are trying to push Nigeria. But I will call on to Nigerian military chief of staff to understand this, that whatever meeting they had with the UK new prime minister is not our problem. But our problem is, let you know what you will do in Africa. Weapons are in African territories to put Africans together to murder each other. Westerners supply weapons to Africa so that Africans may harm each other. Any weapons in an African man possession is there for that African man to be used to fight against his fellow man. There is no African man in possession of weapon that can use that weapon to defend his own African territory. Africans have been supplied with weapons to fight against their fellow Africans, but Africans have never been supplied with weapons to fight against the enemies of Africa. The biggest problem we are having, the biggest problem. Even our militaries in Africa have been supplied with weapons to fight against their fellow African country, but they have never been supplied with a weapon to fight against the enemies of Africa. If not today, before UK, you will give and support to the Nigerian army. I think you should give support to if UK want the freedom of Africa. Before they will give support to the Nigerian army to fight against Niger, I think they should give weapons to the Nigerian armies to defend themselves out from the threat. But France and UK is all the same. The same way France want to get in control of Africa, the same way UK is using Africa. United Kingdom is a place whereby they only want to rule Africa like France. That Nigeria that we are seeing today is being demolished and being undeveloped by the same UK. The percentage of oil that was being stolen from Nigeria going to UK is almost 77% of that oil was gone to UK. America. Nigerians never benefit from that oil. That same UK is sitting today trying to give supporting hand to the Nigerian armies and supply them with weapons to fight against their brother. That is the only thing they are good at, to put Africans against each other so that there could be war in Africa, and they sit in their Western medias and started blabbing and calling Africans a name. We have never seen anything like that in their political systems in Europe. In their own political system, they take care of their own political system. They never want Africans to intervene into their own political system. They never want Africans to know how they run their political systems, but they always want to know how Africans run their political system because they get in control of the African political system. The Westerners are in control of the African political system, and that is going to be something that we are going to cut off now. The Westerners have no right to include themselves in an African political system. African political system is an African politics. It's not an Western politics. Westerners should face their politics and solve their problems in Westerns. Since they don't have food, they don't have gas, they don't have oil, they don't have fuel, they don't have gold, whatever they have, they stole from Africa. They have nothing. So they should face their own problems. If you came to France here, they have no light at this moment of time. That's why France is doing everything to make sure that they gain that uranium from Niger again. They are not ready to lose. And France, I make it very clear in my last video that France will never leave Africa alone except we try to go in war with France. That will be the only way to get ourselves from France. France is not ready to let Africa go. If we Africans want to let go of France, is only to fight against France. France is not ready to go in peace. They must go in pieces. France ambassador in Niger, we go back to France in pieces because he is not ready to go in peace. And Emmanuel Macron is not ready to let Africa be in peace. And you are going to leave Africa alone in pieces. I said it and I will say it anywhere. Any place you take me, arrest me, take me anywhere. I will still repeat the same thing. Emmanuel Macron, you are a fool if you think Africans will let you get in control over them again. That is over. And we are not going to let you, young boy, small boy, treating our fathers like dogs in Africa. You have to decide how our fathers should live in Africa, while our fathers have sons that are more older than you. This is a big shame on some of the coward leaders in Africa that call themselves ECOWAS leaders. A big shame on you peoples. Emmanuel Macron is just like a child to you peoples. You are all older than Emmanuel Macron. And Emmanuel Macron is fooling you, the African leaders who are up to 90 years. And someone is sitting down in France here. using you elders who are more older than Emmanuel Macron. But today, that Emmanuel Macron, that small boy, is using you, the African elders, who call yourself an ECOWAS leaders. You think you are doing right thing by betraying your own Africa and being with the West. You think you are doing the right thing, calling yourself an ECOWAS leader? All those leaders I am seeing in ECOWAS, they are all cowards who are afraid to fight for their own people, but they are not afraid to defend the West and fight against their own peoples. It's a big shame. Sometimes when I think about this, I regret why I go out from African military. Why I rejected the African military. I regret it today. Because if I'm a military today in Africa, based in Africa, still keeping on being a military, I would rather die. But I will never let any coward elder in Africa who call yourself a president or a minister or a governor to let you hand over everything in Africa to the West for free. You will become an history. If they like, let them call me assassinator. But to assassinate the foolish leaders in Africa who are trying to put Africa in mess, to assassinate them is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Even God will bless you for taking them down. Emmanuel Macron, who is not even up to 50 years, is playing with the mind of Bola Tinubu and other eldest peoples who call themselves elders. You are almost going to 90 years now. You African elders call yourself ECOWAS leaders. You are all going to 90 years right now. Some of you are going to 80 years right now. But Emmanuel Macron, who is not even up to 50 years, a young boy like Emmanuel Macron, is using you, the African elders, like a fool, like a toy. And you leave him. You pretend that you want to be, you want the West to call you a great leader. But your own people are angry at you. You want the West to appreciate you. A white man will never appreciate a black man if they are not drinking your blood. A white man can only appreciate a black man if they are drinking your blood and using you like a toy. This is what I want people to understand. A white man can never laugh with you and call you a good man. As far as you are a black man, realize this from today. A white man will never call you a good man as a black man if they are not drinking your blood. They can only call you a good man if they know that you are a fool. They call you a good person. A white man can only call an African leaders a good leader. Leaders who are fool. Doesn't know what is going on. Today, if you come to the Western world, they see Ghanaian president as a good president. They always describe him as a good president. Bola Tinubu, they always describe him as a good president. Why? Because they are drinking their blood. They know that they are fools. Gambian president, they always call them that, oh, you know, Mr. President, you are a good president. Since you came to the country, everything is good. When Gambians are dying one by one. When Gambians are suffering, everything in Gambia is hard. But today, that president is praised by the West. So what is that showing you? That the West always happy. They feel happy when they see a leader in Africa who is suffocating his own peoples. That's what the West want. They want to see someone who will suffocate Africans. Someone who will become a leader in Africa and suffocate his own peoples. They feel so happy. They call you a great leader so that you can continue, move on, suffocating your peoples. But any leader who stands for his own peoples, they call them dictator, a killer. No, it's not a democratic leader. No, it's doing this. Sierra Leone president, I don't blame that one. I've been watching over him. Sierra Leone president is the most coward president that I've ever seen in Africa. After all what happened in 2021 in Sierra Leone, after all what you did to Sierra Leone citizens, you're still not satisfied. After all what UK did to Sierra Leone, after all what the Western world pushed you as a leader of Sierra Leone to maltreat your own people, send militaries to brutally beat your own peoples, kill them. The West is sitting down laughing at you because they are using you to suffocate your own peoples. But you still call yourself the president of Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone, everything is high. Go to Sierra Leone. Fuel is high. Everything price, things are difficult. Sierra Leone citizens are not living in peace and are not living in harmony. The West is using Sierra Leone resources to benefit themselves and using the Sierra Leone president to suffocate the Sierra Leone citizens. But why are African leaders like this? Why are we in this kind of mess, my brothers and sisters? Let's go and talk a little bit about the BRICS that we are all proud of. Because I have been seeing a white man who came out threatening Julius Malema EFFC, saying that the so-called DA, they are calling Julius Malema an enemy. I have seen it, and I will not talk about it. I have a time to talk about it. There are reasons why BRICS will eliminate US hegemony in due course, facing it to conform to international rules and orders. BRICS will make up 45% of the global economy. BRICS immediately have a GDP 30% larger than the United States. US oil advantage are lost as BRICS expand 60% global oil reserves. We have been all seeing these things are happening. The 5 core members of BRICS already contain more than 40% of the humanity, and many countries wanted to join, including Indonesia. America elected itself as world policeman. NATO elected itself as world global security body. Who elected America as the world policeman? Who elected UK as the world security man? Who elected NATO as the world security peacemaker? Who elected them? They have problems. They couldn't solve their own problems and pretending that they want to make peace in Africa. What peace do you want to make in Africa? I am asking the Western world, the Westerners, what peace do you want to make in Africa when you have war in Ukraine? You no more talk about, because you don't care about whatever happened in Ukraine. You don't care about Ukrainians. What all you were saying about Ukraine because you want to use Ukraine to bring down Russian President Putin. That's why. That was the only reason. You use Ukraine as a tool to suit Russia. Since you see that the weapon you are using to destroy Russia is not capable, the weapon is not powerful. Now you all forget about, all the Western peoples forget about Ukraine now. Nobody is talking about Ukraine. All you want to talk about is Niger. Because the uranium power, the power of energy, Russia got it from the Western world. Russia is no more giving light energy to the Western world. Russia is no more giving gas to the Western world. The only place you could get it is in Africa. Now you all face Africa, forget about the problems you have in West. We have millions of problems in West. Now, who is talking about it? Nobody. Now you want to talk about the little problems we have in Africa. Our problems are our problems, and we will solve it without the West. And we don't want the West to be included in our political systems, not to talk of when we have problems. We don't have problems. We are okay, whatever is happening in Niger. Every other Nigerian citizen is happy with the military junta Abdurrahman. Every other simple African citizen is happy with the military junta Abdurrahman. So what is the problem there? What are you trying to fight for? Democracy. Well, that democracy is for who? For the West, but not for Africans. You are fighting for your own democracy in Africa. You are not fighting for any bloody damn democracy. You are fighting for your own security too, so that you could have the best way to steal in Africa still. But you are not fighting for democracy. Why are you fighting democracy for? Who need democracy? We don't need democracy in Niger. In any African country, we don't need democracy. If you go to the West, they don't have democracy. The Western world, they have no democracy. The same way you describe and emphasize and bring up and democracy rule to Africans, then tell Africans human right also. Tell Africans to accept human right. Emphasize the human right to Africans. Why are you not doing that? The West is never telling Africans how human rights are supposed to be done. They are never telling Africans that you should be in human right. They take Africa out from human right and give us something that will destroy us, that the so-called democracy. Who need democracy? Who need it? When you, the Westerners who created democracy, who make every simple law, rule, and regulation in democracy and puzzle it like a letter and send it to Africans to accept. African leaders will read it and accept it by force, as far as there is 20 million on top of it. To each and every African leader, they all accept. Yes, we accept. They will not even read the letter to know what the letter contains. What are the rules? But as far as the $20 million is on top of a paper that should be signed and stamped by African leaders, they sign and stamped without knowing the content of that letter and without knowing the consequences of accepting that letter from the West. I swear to God, this is the best time to stop the West. And this will be the time that West will stop. As we are all seeing, if you don't know as an African, I will tell you today, Europeans are suffering, Americans are suffering, UK is in a range of falling down. They are all in a way of falling down. They will never sit in media and tell you what they are facing. Because if they tell you, you the Africans are going to be proud of yourself. I am the only one who will sit in media here and tell you what they are passing through. Their Western medias will not tell you what Europe is passing through, what Westerners are passing through. What they are passing through and hell right now. Since this, just one country in Africa said, no, we don't want you. That is Niger, just one country. What if all African countries says, no, we don't want to work with West anymore? Then West is going down. Westerners will be in Africa to work for them, for Africans like a slave. Believe me, nobody is going to tell you this. That only one country in Africa called Niger deny them from having access to their natural resources. That is destroying Europe today. Europeans no more have light energy. The only light energy they have right now, they are reserving themselves and punishing themselves not to use all. Till further notice will come that they have access to Niger uranium. Without that Niger uranium, there will be a time Europe will lose light. We have already, it began in France. France is losing light. France cannot give light energy to all its countries or to all its states or to all its cities right now, as the moment I'm speaking to you right now. France doesn't have enough light energy to supply the whole France. They have to give some and deny some in 4 hours and give it to some in 4 hours. Why? That's why France is mad. And France will never leave Africa because they don't have light energy. If France leave Africa, they will go in hunger, no light, no gas. They will be begging. They will become beggars. And you know what it means? Do you know what it means when Europe there is no light? Do you know what it will cause? I will tell you the Africans today. Europeans survive through light energy and gas. Because without that gas and that light energy, do you know coal will kill them here? When it came to the cold time, when it came to the hot time in summertime, do you know they will die by hot? The heat in Europe here. You know when cold came, they will die without their heaters, without there's something to hot their houses when there is no light. But nobody is telling you this. It's only in Africa that the Africans are living without thinking about something in your house to hot your house or something in your house to cool your house for you when it's time for hot. In Europe here, nobody can exist without these things. And these things are being used by the light energy or gas energy. And that gas energy and the light energy is from Africa. France, in this cold time, mark it from me today, sign it. We are coming to the call. Before December to January, count how many people will die in France because they don't have much of light energy. And that is going to cause a lot of people to die in France in this cold time. Mark it from December to January. Mark it. Mark my word from today. Trust me. Nobody will tell you what they are passing through. The Western media will never sit and tell you that we are hungry or we are not having food or another part of Europe is suffering because they don't have enough light energy. Nobody, they don't want to tell you their suffering part. They only show you the beautiful part of Europe where people are enjoying. When you see it, you say, no, Europe is nice. No, Europeans are enjoying. No. Without you Africans, Europeans will not enjoy. Without you Africans, Europeans will not put food on table. Without you Africans, they will not have light energy. Without you Africans, they will not have gas energy. They don't have, what do they have? What do they have? What do the West have that they can bluff in front of Africans? What do they have? Why don't they want to leave Africa alone? Do you think what Africa have today, if West have it, West will have a collaboration or business partnership with Africa? Do you think it will happen? What Africa have today, if Western peoples have it and Africa have nothing, do you think they will even have a partnership with Africa? Do you think that will happen? Are you thinking of it? As an African, what Africa have today, they are insisting and forcing themselves on Africa because they know without that Africa, if you know, without me, you can't survive. Even if I tell you go away, you will not go away. You will still insist to be with me because you know when you go away from me, you will die. So that is West and Africa. The West know that going away from Africa is a danger for them. And they don't even want their own citizens to know what is going on. Some of their citizens will call me, will appreciate me for letting them know who is their government. A lot of European citizens contacted me. And someone from America also contacted me. A lot of them. They are white men who are intelligent, who knows what I am saying. Some of them call me to appreciate me for letting them know what is going on after watching my videos. But what the West have, calculated what Africa have today, think about it and imagine it. What Africa have, the natural resources, the gold, the diamond, the mineral resources, everything that we have today. If it is West that have it, and we don't have gas, we don't have fuel, imagine how are we going to live? Then we are going to live like a slave. They will come and buy us. They will come and buy us. If what Africa have today, if West is having that, then they will come and buy us and bring us here and use us. I'm telling you, they will go to Africa and buy a human being. If you go to Angleterre today, we have the biggest gold magazine there. Who stole that gold? Queen Elizabeth. The late Queen Elizabeth. Her generation have stolen all those golds from Africa. They built the biggest gold magazine in the whole world. The biggest gold magazine is in the UK. Go there. You will see the biggest gold magazine there. All those golds are from Africa. And you know what BRICS stand for? That's why I am so happy about this project called BRICS. BRICS stand for something that you will not understand. But BRICS is standing for something that to improve and implement and suspend the West. The West will now use that same gold they stole from Africa. They will use it by force to buy something in Africa. That's what BRICS stand for. Do you know, in a BRICS currency, it's a gold, right? American dollar cannot buy nothing from Africa if BRICS stand. Because American dollar is just a paper, it's not a gold. It's a paper. BRICS currency is a gold. It's built by a gold. And if you want to buy something in a BRICS global market, you need to use either oil you want to buy or gas. You need to use gold to buy. So what gold are they going to use? They are going to use the same gold they stole from Africa. So all the gold is going to go back to Africa. That's what BRICS stand for. If you don't know, why are they insisting on destroying the BRICS? They are insisting on to destroy BRICS because they know what BRICS stand for. American dollar cannot buy anything from Africa or from the BRICS global market. UK pound sterling cannot buy nothing from the BRICS global market. Euro cannot buy anything from BRICS global market because BRICS global market will have their own currency. That if you want to buy oil or you want to buy anything from BRICS global market, you are going to use BRICS currency. And that currency is built by gold. And for you to be able to buy anything from BRICS currency, if America want to buy something, they will not be able to use dollar. That's why now American dollar is just a paper. It's just a paper that they print it, photocopy it, and buy things from Africans. Americans will never say we don't have enough money to buy this from Africa. No, they have enough money. They take $100 and photocopy it in millions and go to Africa. It's just a paper that they print for Africans. Euro is just a paper that if Africa, that's why you, the African leaders, if you can emphasize on this, you will understand what I'm saying. Because you, the Africans leaders, whenever you came to beg Europeans or